Yeah.
The broadcast is live.
Oh my God.
Andrew says device is not connected. Andrew, I can't bring you in unless your device is connected.
Yeah. Yeah, welcome to Technical Issue Wednesday. Yeah. I don't know what. I don't even know what day it is anymore.
Well, I just seen you come through on my on my computer here. I'm running two computers.
Oh, good. Yeah, I've got a multi-screen, which is why I'm always looking like this way or that way, because when monitors are on arms, and I just turned it off. But when monitors are on arms, it's a lot easier to move around, but it looks really weird on camera. No, I'm glad you guys were all able to join us. Thanks for tuning in here, given that we postponed this like 3 or 4 times.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a little confusing. I thought it was.
For those of you on YouTube, welcome to the first layer when we don't script anything.
Yeah. We don't script it.
Oh, that's why I'm so confused. Okay, so I did actually have audio from YouTube playing over here. I just forgot it went live.
I just had to let a guy know that he needs a camera and a microphone in order to get on.
I think, Big Bogeyface was asking a question. I think he actually sent us that message.
Hang on.
Gonna do the dance, right?
Yeah, sorry guys.
That's all good. Big Bogeyface actually sent us a message today on Facebook asking about this. Why does it leave a mark when I peel my work from the work surface? And I mentioned that we had talked about this on the live stream on Sunday, Richard, but maybe you can recap.
Well, it leaves a mark on your bed because you're too close. And secondly, if you're going to get white marks, and I think I've got a piece here that I can show that still has white marks on it. Yeah, there's one. You see there's little white marks on that piece. Those are what's called stress marks. And that comes from being a little too close to the bed and then getting your putty knife underneath your part and popping it off, because this is bending and it's causing a little bit of stress right where it's bending and trying to come off the bed or off the plate. So that's probably why he's getting those marks.
I crushed both my glass beds right off the bat. So.
Yeah, I don't. I like glass and I use it quite often, but I use it actually on a lot of my printers, to be honest with you.
You use that glass bed for reality. I don't care for, so I use that for that Tapcon tape. I put tape over it. And
Gotcha. Just flip it over. That bed over.
Okay, I'll try that.
If you flip the bed over and you use a little bit of glue stick, you'll be right as rain.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I've always used glass.
I have like
a glue stick.
an old bed, and it's that bed stick, but this new bed, it doesn't stick.
What kind of bed you got there?
He's got one of the Creality ones.
Creality glass beds.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the ones with their carbon coating?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, another thing to try, just from knowing those beds, they can work, but remember with that glass, it takes a while for heat to radiate through it. So what I'd suggest is, bump up your bed maybe, try 70 degrees and just see if it changes at all the adhesion, because, again, we were just talking pre-show about having a thermal camera is nice to have on hand, but even, with a little bit of aluminum, that sensor's on the bottom of the bed, so it's got to radiate up. So what I've found is some machines I have to set it at 65 to 70 to get the effective surface temperature up to 60. Yeah. Always try the free stuff,
I think you have a stalker on YouTube tonight.
Yes, sir.
It looks like you have a stalker.
Ah, that's pretty normal. I was gonna say we're flipping the roles for once now.
Oh, somebody's not stalking you, or you're not stalking somebody else?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a Cord XTC. We haven't seen him for a while.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. So deep submerged. Do you know who that is?
Nope. Well, they're on the blacklist now.
They're calling you out.
I'm using this for the banhammer now. You know.
Tokyo Joe says, I used a different glue on my last print. I had to wash the glass to get the print off, but it did come off.
Yeah, glue sticks are funny, but at the end of the day, if you can't get your print off the bed and you use the water washable glue sticks, submerge it in water because it's water soluble. That's what it's supposed to do, and it might take
There
some
you go.
time, but you can do it.
So I'm going to give you guys a look here real quickly at what one of the Z motor setups looks like. So this is the Z motor setup.
Oh, you went and built it already. Nice.
Oh, I'm just mucking around here. I haven't done anything big. So this pulley goes to the motor. This pulley, which is a 9mm pulley as opposed to a 6, allows your bed or allows your X gantry to ride up and down, your XY gantry. So there's 4 of these. So you actually have 4 independent motors that are making that Z work. And the bed is not moving at all.
I'm just more impressed that they used belt, to be honest, because I don't know if it's a 3-to-1 gear ratio on that, but basically you're gonna get a very detailed Z resolution, but there's no lead screws. That's the nice thing. It's all belts.
Yep.
So that's kind of why we really jumped on this design. For those of you on YouTube didn't know, Voron 2.4. That's what we're going to be building here, and
Yes.
most of this design is really things that most printers, have kind of considered but have been made fun of before. But when it's done right, it's done right. So, we've got four belts going to lift up your Z. As long as you dial those belts in right in the first place, they should never move. So, we'll see. I mean, you guys are going to be joining us on this adventure as we, 3-4 parts, whatever it is, to build these. We've been allocating supplies slowly but surely here. I actually have to go back up to the city tomorrow because all I got was my M3x8s. So, yeah, you try dropping $250 on screws. That's okay. I got some proper cutting tools this time, I swear. And thanks to this here, there's a good chance this time that I won't actually break the bit in the bloody extrusion. I am not mechanically inclined, guys.
He's
I will
right
be
about
firsthand.
that.
I'm Mr. Electrical.
Well, DeWitt says he can't find the
Yeah,
link.
I'll send him the link there.
Okay. Yeah, send it to him privately.
Yep.
Yes. So, what are you guys doing right now? Like snapshot, what are you printing?
Well, give me a second and I will show you. I was just earlier today, if you can see on the table, I was printing up some parts for an RC FPV tank.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
They've got TPU tracks
Nice.
and the bodies and the gears that'll run the tracks. And the other thing I made up, I'll put my camera back up here. My son has an electric drum set, and he broke one of the clamps.
Right.
So this is out of the M3D Black.
Nice.
And I could have designed something, but I found this on Thingiverse. And it was exactly what he needed. And as Brian, as you guys already know, this stuff is super strong. This is just PLA.
I can't break this stuff. I mean, I'd like to see someone do it, but
It's not, it ain't breaking. I tend
spammed
to
like crazy in our chat.
I tend to print practical stuff like stuff like that. When we moved down here in Maryland from upstate New York, we got moved in here, and I realized we didn't have a toothbrush holder.
oh no.
So on the Tinkercad, made one up, printed it out, and it's been working, doing its job ever since. So I've only just gotten into printing stuff that isn't practical. like
Oh, that's
that.
fantastic.
That's cool.
I love that.
It had some issues. The hood here broke off, and I found it in the bottom of the vat and glued it on.
Nice.
So I'm just getting used to this resin stuff, but generally speaking, I print stuff for my hobby, which is FPV drones. My son and I fly, which is what the FPV stands for. So I print frames and motor mounts and things of that nature. Otherwise, it's just practical stuff. Brian, I was going to ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
A couple weeks back, we were talking about these on the live stream.
Yeah, those eggs, the
Did
Angus
you ever-
eggs or whatever.
Did you ever try to make one on a resin printer?
No, I didn't get close. I was doing a bunch of changes to my resin machine, actually, which is what one of my upcoming videos is. But no, I didn't get a chance. Did you give it a go, or?
Not since the failed one that I had,
Gotcha.
which is over there. But
Yeah,
by the way, this one
Yep.
was made on an ANAT.
Hey, you know, if it works, right? The problem with resin, I'd have to look back at that model design, but you have to think about how, you know, it's going to structure itself. And what I was thinking almost is you need almost like a single support for the inner portions and then rotate it like 90 degrees. Just because of how resin composites the layers, if you will, right? You know, without having supports, you're basically telling it print something blindly in midair until it eventually attaches back to something.
There's a setting in G2 Box in the advanced settings, and I'm not going to explain it right, but it basically downsizes the size of the part.
Okay.
Forgive me, I don't know. I don't recall exactly
Scaling.
what it was. It could not scaling. It downsizes the inside wall and the outer wall.
Oh.
And I tried it, but I tried to a high setting and it failed. But I got to get back
Okay.
to that.
I'll tell you right
So-
now, my gripe with Cheeto Box this week is apparently you need to sign in now to download Cheeto Box, and their Baidu two-factor or human authentication is just blocked by every firewall on Earth, it seems. So I can't sign in to download it. So my hand was forced to give a lychee slicer a try there, or lychee slicer, and it's not a bad slicer. I just don't like. There are simple things that should not be locked behind a paywall, but they locked it behind there. So I've actually been using the Zortrax slicer a lot lately for my resin.
So has anybody tried the new Cura 4.9?
Yeah, I have.
Yep.
Yeah, any glitches?
Well, I like it because when it comes up, it displays the model like in the line, so you get the different colors of like what's supported and what isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the seam. It tells you where the seam is.
Printed with the Kira. Printed with the
Nice.
Kira.
Yep.
No.
So I think their next one is because I tried their other one with the Apache engine. So that one works pretty good too. So I think that'll be incorporated in their next
Update.
Yeah, Cura has always been good. I mean, I won't lie to you guys. I jumped to Prusa Slicer quite a bit lately because it's just been delivering really good quality out of the box. But it's driving me bonkers how they have no tree support option yet, because I was spoiled with Cura for that. And Prusa supports, I can't stand it.
So you're going back to the helmet, huh?
But which one there, sorry?
From Sundays, or from the last Sunday, where you put the helmet on?
Oh, yeah. That's you know what? Jess, I think, took it over to the shop to work on it because the supports there were, even though I set it like 150% of wall width, some of them were still welded to the outside of that model. So I don't have any answers, but you know, when it takes 800 grams of filament to print one, we're probably just gonna clean this one up.
Wow. How many days?
That one was 4 days because it was on a 0.4 nozzle. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I'm
just
starting to
want
get.
let Tim know from DeWitt 3D that we have an opening now.
Oh, do
So,
we? Okay.
There he is.
Hey,
We got him.
there we go.
How's it going?
I'm sorry, I don't have professional. I can only do 10.
That's okay.
We're so loaded at the first layer, we can afford a double a week.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to know what set me back the most this past week?
Yeah, oh my,
That
that's
stuff.
liquid gold right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Loctite.
Do you want to know what this cost in Canada from Bolt Supply?
$21.
Oh no.
Nope.
What's that, blue Loctite?
Blue Loctite, medium.
$40.
$52.
There's
Wow.
there's actually a shortage of it. I went to a few retailers and nobody can supply it right now. So the price is between 50 to 70 bucks Canadian.
1.69 fluid ounces. $52.
Hey Pete, I'm liking that shirt. Same with Scarecrow. You guys are living it up more than
There
I
you
am
go.
today.
I had curiosity for you, Richard. So my brother does embroidery, computerized embroidery. Would you mind if I played around with the logo for a bit to get it
No,
embroiderized
go
on a shirt? Okay. I wanted to ask before I sent it to him, basically.
Yeah.
Tokyo Joe says, good luck on $21. More like $43. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's
This
disgustingly
stuff is
expensive.
like liquid gold right now. So I have more than enough to do my Voron with this.
If there's a shortage of Loctite in Canada, does that mean all your machines are going to go flying apart all of a sudden?
No. Because when I build my machines, I build them right.
Yeah, if you didn't use brand name Loctite, well, maybe.
You know, the very first printer I ever built was a Hicktop 3D PO8. Came on an acrylic frame. And what I didn't realize is that this stuff eats acrylic.
Oh,
So I put all my screws and nuts in with a little bit of Loctite. In about 3 weeks, any place that the Loctite had touched the acrylic made it brittle and it just snapped. Literally, my printer fell apart.
yeah. Chemical reactions are really weird sometimes, especially with working with plastics and polymers. I've for instance, super glues don't work very well on ABS sometimes. I've found. I've been trying to glue some stuff to that Sunlu filler dryer there. Even the best stuff, after a while there, it won't. It actually just kind of bonds roughly to the surface, but falls right off.
Yeah. We've got a question here from King Master Lord. I love that name, King Master Lord. But for real, dog, I am an off-the-street noob. I'm still struggling with Z offset after leveling my bed. You're going to have to ask one of them. Okay, so anybody have problems with Z offset? I got a whole video on it.
Yeah, I don't touch it too often anymore. Once it's dialed in, it's pretty good, but Z offset varies based off if you have a bed leveling sensor, based off making sure that your motors aren't out of sync. Different things like that. I think who was it recently that did a video on a dial gauge, using that to tram your bed and test? I think it was Michael from Teaching Tech.
Yeah, Michael over at Teaching Tech.
Yeah, I bought one of those cheapos here. One of these guys from Amazon for, I think I paid $30 or something. And it's just a little dial gauge. As you press it, it bounces around.
That looks exactly like mine.
Yeah, they're all the same junk. And then what you do is you apply this, attach it somewhere to your hot end, let it move down until the probe is kind of partway down, and then you hit the 0 button to zero it out. And then as you move it across the bed, you can see how much it moves up and down and get an actual measurements. So that's been a huge help for my machines where visually it looks perfect, but you need that extra tuning,
Okay, so we got the snapshot. Let's go over to Henry. Henry, what are you printing?
Okay, so right now I'm printing the supports for the PLA, and so I can store them away when I'm through using them.
Nice. That's an awesome piece.
And I've got them going. I've got them going right now on two out of my 4 printers.
Nice. Scarecrow, you're up next, my friend.
Oh heck, I'm messing with that APS. I'm in the other room. I got something. I'll be right back. I'll show you.
Sure. We'll go to Rex in the meantime. Rex, we can't hear you.
He's getting.
Oh, can't hear you.
I think I know what that lip movement meant. That's a Canadian phrase right there.
Yeah. I'm not printing nothing. I'm lazy.
Sure, let's say it's that. That's a little more polite.
Ain't got no material.
Well, we've got lots.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, yeah, I'm printing a Fat 365 for their Star Wars. It's that very big one. It's free right now.
Nice. All right, Scarecrow, you're up.
Yeah, I've been printing these little guys. They're little post-it note.
Oh,
cool.
Oh, I
woodpeckers.
like it.
I got different colors, but yeah, I've been printing these.
Those are cool.
Yeah, Thingiverse. Yeah, I thought I'll print a few of these. That's my latest one. Yeah.
Now, for all you guys that are in here, and for those of you that are watching, that are members of our members group here, you guys are all going to be getting one of these.
They're
This
so
is one
shiny.
of our-
Sweet.
Yeah, these are our new stickers. So what I need you all to do is send me an email to questions at the first layer. Just mark it my address and put down all your address information so I can send those out to you guys.
Okay.
Okay? Peter, I know
Can
where
you
you
say
are.
that one more time?
Yeah, you know
Can
where
you say
I
that
am.
one more time? Because you broke up through that.
Questions at the first layer. Send me
Okay.
your address information and, of course, your name. And I'm
But you
going
should
to
have mine
send-
already.
Do I have all your address stuff?
You got mine.
Well, I got the PLA from you guys.
No, you got that actually from
Matter
Matter
3D.
3D. I
Yeah,
don't have
they
your
dispatched
information.
that
Okay.
on behalf of us. They were really generous in offering to send that out too.
Yeah.
So
So we
Yeah,
didn't
maybe-
have to
Okay,
send it from
I
our
will
pocket.
I will get it. I will get it to you after the show.
Okay, yeah, just send me your addresses, guys, and for all of our members, you guys are going to get one of these funky little stickers.
Yeah, I tell you what. Once I'm done with the hitchbox, I might start getting a matter of PLA. That's some nice stuff.
It is some beautiful stuff, absolutely. Peter,
Yeah.
what are you printing? I know you're always printing
I'm
something.
finishing off this pill dispenser. So it's it works like this. You can open the slots. I don't know if you can see it, and then you can fill it full of pills. And then when you want
Cool.
the daily pill to drop down, you just turn it, and it drops down into the slot and comes out in this little thing.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really
that's
cute.
brilliant. I love it.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm going
So-
to get one of those soon.
my wife takes a fair amount of pills, and so she can do a whole week's pills in this thing, and I just got one more layer to do.
Nice.
I was going to ask how many days worth of pills does it hold?
It does 7 days worth of pills. I got the thing off of Cults. The only problem was all the instructions were in French. Is from some guy in France. So I had to put it through Google to translate it.
Hey, if it works.
If it works, great.
And it worked. And anyway, it only cost me 96 cents Canadian, so it wasn't like I spent a lot of money.
Well, there you
No,
go.
some people release models for next to nothing out there. You know, I know a lot of people roll out like Cults 3D and Gambody and stuff, but you know what? I mean, a lot of these models these days are like $3-4. Like, you know, if you want to go for the high end stuff, drop 30-40, sure. But
Yeah, nice.
you know, people are starting to, now with all the problems with Thingiverse, people are looking outwards, and you'd be surprised what people will create, for a small fee versus a absolutely free, right?
Right, exactly. I mean, Thingiverse is fine, and I've even used Tinkercad a couple of times to make my own thing. Like I made some pot liners with TPU.
Oh, nice.
So when you put, special coated frying pans together, they can scratch. So I just made this thing on Thingiverse that you just throw between the pans, and it stops them from scratching each other.
Brilliant. You know what? Even if you spend 15, $20 on TPU there, you're saving 80, $90 on your pans.
Exactly. I'm more of a practical person and sort of, I'm not great at Star Wars, so. And I really don't need a Mandalorian helmet.
Hey. You take that
Well,
back.
I don't plan to go out on Halloween. At 75, what's the point?
Free candy.
Oh, okay.
You know what, Peter? I'm coming to your house for Halloween, and we'll just drink.
Yeah, okay.
And then you'll don the helmet. You watch.
Yeah, okay.
So, Robert, 954. Let's see what you're working on.
I've been working on the screen for the TFT 35.
Oh, nice.
The box for it. And it's been a pain, but I've been using Fusion, and I found the actual model on GrabCab. Where I can get so I could import it in as a step file into Fusion. It made my life a lot easier building it up.
Awesome. So the last one I guess we got is Accord XTC.
Yep.
What are you working on, man?
So there's been two I've worked on. One's my nerd project, which is this CPU shadow box.
Cool.
So different generation of CPUs. And then the other one was decking out my Ender 3 with all the bells and whistles.
Look at how sexy that thing is.
So that's what I've been mostly printing for now.
Nice. Now that shadow box you've got there.
Yep.
Do you have any Xeons in it?
I do not. That's one I need.
Oh,
I think I saw
I'm
Sauron.
gonna hook you up.
Oh, okay.
I've got an old server here that Brian and I were going to turn into a video server so that we could put all of our files on it. But it's way too friggin' loud.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pull the CPUs out of it. There's no drives in it or anything. There's no RAM in it. So I think I'm going to pull the Xeon CPUs out of it, and I'll send you one.
That'll be awesome. I appreciate it.
Right on. All right.
So you can see my printers a little bit better. We
can.
I like the RGB at the top.
This is one of my. Okay, so I use RGB in all my pictures and stuff like that, and I call it the Pandora's box, because once you put your artwork in there, you'll never see it the same way again.
Nice. So there's my addiction to RGB.
Oh, I can't show you my PC because it's down under the desk. I don't have a camera I can move at the moment. But hey, did you guys download this?
Not yet, but that was an awesome video.
I got to tell you, this thing works freaking amazing. I've used it now twice. The 7mm socket on this side is great for E3D. The 6mm socket on this side is great for Mark 8 nozzles. And I can switch them around.
Was that printed in ABS or PLA?
Yeah, ABS.
ABS.
I printed it fast because I wanted to get it out. That's why the bottom looks so crappy.
What is ABS? What's the temperature on that? And
well, this is the white ABS from Matter Control, and I printed this at 245 because that's as high as my flash forge will go. Yeah, I printed this at 245 all the way through and 105 on the bed. So
what percentage of did you
this is
turn
100%
the speed down
infill on
on
this
it?
whole thing. It's 100%.
No, did you turn the speed down on it then, or
No,
do you have it 100?
no, the speed was 60 mils per second.
Okay.
I probably should have slowed it down.
So what about an enclosure though? Richard, did you have an enclosure
yeah.
for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that
There's the inner mechanism right there.
Yeah.
so with ABS you always have to have it enclosed?
Yes. Well, okay. Let me see if I can answer this the right way. Yes and no. If you want good success with ABS, you want it in an enclosed environment. 2 reasons. 1, it keeps the heat in. 2, it keeps the off-gassing in. So off-gassing, of course, is going to leak out through any opening that it can find, but it's really not that bad. And with the Matter 3D ABS, it's very low odor. So you don't get that heavy chemical plastic burning smell that you would normally get. Take a piece of ABS conduit and light it on fire. You'll know what I'm talking about.
Probably toxic, is it?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It's very toxic. It looks like Tim's back. Let me just go on. No, he's not back yet.
Richard, you got to make 5 more of those
I got to make 5 more.
for each of your Vorons.
No, I just need one.
Yeah, here's my enclosure. The old file cabinet.
You gotta give one to Jerry.
No, I don't give my wife tools at all. No. I turn on. Here's the thing: when I'm woodworking, and I love to woodwork, it's one of my hobbies. When I'm woodworking, my wife won't come anywhere near the tools. She's afraid of them. She's even more afraid of watching me use them. But in my adult life, which has been, 30 plus years now, I still have all 10 digits. And they're all my digits. So I have
That's why he keeps me around. Back up.
What was that?
Cool thing you guys don't know is we Richard and I share the same birthday. I'm 2 years older than he is.
Yes.
Well, that's awesome. Small world, eh?
Nice.
It is. So next year we get to celebrate it together.
Nice.
Without COVID.
Absolutely.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Hopefully.
Oh my Lord. Tim's sending me messages now. Oh, he says his internet's being a dick.
You know, I've heard that today, a couple of things. I actually had to cancel a meeting I had midday due to connectivity issues. It's been a spotty couple of months here for internet, actually.
Mine has been pretty stable. I haven't had any drops, I don't think. I haven't had any drops at all. Anybody having any trouble with 3D printing recently?
No, I haven't.
All the time?
Well, besides you, Brian.
Yeah.
You're
a professional, Brian.
Yeah.
You should know how to do
I'm a
this
professional
stuff.
idiot. That's about as far as I'll give it.
Yeah. So when I started using the Z Probe wizard in the firmware that Michael had brought to light a couple of months ago, I had no issue getting my Z offset.
Nice.
Yeah, I was experimenting with ABS, and so I've had a couple of failures, but surprisingly, my Benchy printed pretty good, except for the stringing. So.
Now, the thing with stringing and ABS, just so you know, stringing only occurs in ABS because you don't either have enough retraction or it's too hot and it's continually coming out the end of the nozzle. So, if you haven't yet, print a temperature tower. And if you print a temperature tower, you should be fine.
Yeah, I'll have to do
You
that.
dial it right in, really nice.
Okay.
I can't believe how much shit I have on my desk.
I'm a little buried myself here too right now. This camera is very
It's a good
strategically
thing-
placed.
Yeah, so is mine.
Yeah, I cleaned up the top of my printer cabinet, but it was full of prints I had up there earlier.
I'm trying to figure out how this thing works again.
Yeah, organization is a fundamental of 3D printing. Otherwise, you end up like me and you order 5 of everything.
I'm,
I must be getting friggin' old because I can't remember how to do the simplest things anymore.
I'm currently tinkering with this old Dr. Vader's lightsaber.
Nice.
I'm tinkering with it.
I've printed a couple of lightsabers. Brian can attest to that.
Oh yeah.
And then we give them away to kids whenever we see them.
Yeah, screw the kids. We should keep them for ourselves.
We should.
Order 66 of them, you know.
So, because I can't find my pliers, I put a hot end into these jaws of life. So, just to... There we go. Now it's tight.
Cool.
Hey, if it works, right? Why not?
Now all I have to do is put a heater cartridge and a thermistor in this, heat it up, and do it one more time. No leaks. So we haven't had a lot of success with asking people about what we should do this summer for a project.
So far we got
Sounds like you got it all worked out.
No, I haven't got it worked out at all.
I'm still hoping for that RC Benchy.
The RC Benchy. That actually might actually happen.
I mean, worst case scenario, I'm going to make one into a quadcopter, so.
Oh, helicopter?
Yeah. Just make a benchy helicopter. Why not?
Hey, there's Gary. I'll let Gary in for a little bit. I haven't seen Gary for a while.
Oh, yeah, I have no reason to go to your part of town now.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something. You got no reason to come watch us anymore or something.
I don't work down in the south anymore.
I know that's pretty much the only reason I ever had to stop by, just to see you. I could buy all my stuff online, so. Oh well.
Well, pretty soon you'll be able to buy it from us.
Yeah, that's true, and then I can save on a bit of shipping. Try to get
we for those of you guys that are local to us, or pretty close to local, we are going to be getting a whole whack of filament from Matter 3D, and we'll be distributing it to people that have ordered it right here from Calgary. So we'll even be doing some home deliveries for you guys in and around Calgary.
Right.
Henry, that
So
thing
you
up there
guys
is
met-
beyond a hobby, bud. That there is a business.
That's an obsession.
This is one of my helicopters.
Nice.
This is one of my helicopters. Yes, it is.
Nice.
Hey, Morgan's in the chat tonight.
I mean, you guys were talking choppers, so I had to bring mine down.
Oh, no doubt. Let me tell you the story, okay? I had an RC chopper once for a grand sum of 15 minutes. I bought it finally. Electric one, a little bit of fun. And then I gave my dad the controller. And what did he do? He shot it straight up. He's like, oh, and then cut the throttle. I came down and smashed into the fence.
Nobody touches controls. Nobody touches controls.
Well, you got to do a buddy box.
No way.
No kidding.
Nope, not even.
Tokyo Joe saying he's thinking of moving to Alberta depending on the next election. Well, according to the next election, I think PCs are still going to run this province.
Yeah.
I'm not even touching the political atmosphere out here.
No.
It's a disaster right now.
From where I'm from originally, I'm from Manitoba. And any Canadians in the chat tonight will know where that is. But I grew up in a place called Thompson, Manitoba, which is north of the 53rd parallel. So we get 2 seasons, winter and not winter.
And mosquitoes.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, mosquitoes.
Winter,
That's
winter
the
and road construction.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Edmonton.
So, growing up there wasn't a lot to do. We did fly rockets in the not winter period when we could. My older brother Ray, and you guys, some of you guys have met my older brother Ray now. DeWitt says Richard Cleveland for premier. Yeah, I got enough to do without looking after the province. Thanks.
Define looking after. I think you'll have plenty of time left over.
Yeah, there's not much to do in the province. Where was I going with this? I can't remember.
I don't know. We were rambling a bunch of things. I suppose we can talk a little bit about.
You were talking about your rockets.
Rockets.
You were talking
Rockets,
about your
Yeah,
rockets.
non-winter.
So rockets became my thing in the summer, and fishing, of course. I love fishing. And then when I moved, I got old enough to move, I went into the entertainment business, and I never went back. And look,
Sounds
I'm
entertaining.
still in the entertainment business. I was supposed to have retired from this when I moved here 13 years ago.
I'm going to say this was your choice.
No, this was my wife's choice.
Ah. Is that
Do
why she's
something
hiding
with
right
the
now?
internet, she said.
No, I love that curtain behind you with the blue. I love that.
You know, somebody sent me an email about a week ago asking me if I had a pool above me. Because it looks like water.
Okay.
Yeah, it does look pretty cool for that.
That's actually, if you go into Walmart during the Halloween time, you can find those lights that you stick in your ground. They put patterns all over your house. They're like cheap, $10.
Okay.
That's what's making that on the back curtain. I have it clipped up in the corner over there.
If it works.
Well, I look at it every time we're on Sunday.
I thought it was distracting.
Well, Henry, you got some addressable LEDs up behind you there, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. I love the rainbow effect, but then I go overkill. You know, my case, I wish I could lift it up for you guys right now, but I got into an RGB binge last year, and it's way too rainbowy now.
It's never too
I got
much.
into an RGB binge last year.
Well, no, okay, the local e-recyclers who have, those of you who know me, I buy a lot of junk from there. They got this sudden shipment of all these Corsair addressable LEDs and all that, and yeah, Jess, of course, her PC's off right now, so I can't even show you. But, you know, we're talking like $5 to $10 per fan, and those things are normally $40. So, yeah, I stocked up.
Yeah. I've got 6 fans on my PC the way it is.
Let's see, this one's got
LED lights.
Yeah, this one's got 6 right now, too. It's one of those Carbide Air 540s. You know the really big Corsair cases?
Yeah.
One of those running with rads everywhere.
I breed my own computers as well.
How many guys in the room are over 50?
I like it.
All of us. Well,
me.
Accord.
Yeah.
58 soon.
Gary, you're not over 50 yet.
No, only psychologically after this year.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hey, I've got 10 years on you, Richard.
Yes, you do.
We'll drag you with us.
The reason I'm asking that question is because when I built this new PC down here, do you know how hard it was to find shit that didn't have LEDs on it?
Yeah.
I could care less about LEDs. I just want the dang thing to work.
It's amazing what they charge for it sometimes too, eh? Like, what was it? They've now got this liquid water cooler that's got a screen on it, so you can go and put little animations on there, and it's like $300.
But water cooler?
Yeah, just the water cooler, like the pump itself.
They saw you coming.
No, they saw every kid with a handful of cash coming.
Yeah, we won't even talk about the GPU shortage right now. It's why I'm still rocking my 1070.
Or the prices.
Yeah, the prices are outrageous. Well, you can always go to Wish and buy one of their GPUs
Ooh,
for
yeah.
$45.
Real legit.
Then you'll wish you hadn't.
I've watched so many of those videos comparing a genuine card to something they got off Wish, and I just laugh every time. Why would you think that's a good idea?
I see 3D printing stuff on Wish, and I was like, that's sketchy to me.
Yeah. Well, you know, they're partnered up with all those other companies like AliExpress and GearBest and you know,
Banggood.
Banggood. Yeah, all those guys. They're all kind of in the same playground. So
Well, they're, you know, some of them aren't too bad. Like Banggood at least has their own warehouse. The reason I don't like Wish is because, you know, they might appear to make something cheap, but the way they do shipping, given that you would think you're buying everything from Wish and not being, you know, sent to distributors, you know, you list a $13 item and then ding you $27 for shipping. That's just stupid. You know, at least on AliExpress, you know, even at $4, I know they're taking me to the cleaners, but it's trackable. So.
that's true.
Yeah, if you really wanted to gamble your money, you might as well go spend a couple days with Jerry and spend it in Vegas. You get a couple of shows out of it. I think I've only known somebody that has gotten one good thing from Wish, and everything else, you know, it technically looks like the picture, but it's either smaller or not internally not what was advertised.
Yeah, if you're not setting your bar low, it's gonna be fun. Like my dad, I bought for Christmas a couple of years ago a Cthulhu toque, basically like a full balaclava, but it had like the tentacles and everything at the bottom. It was just made out of string or whatever. It was like $4 or $5, and he loves it. And you know what? It actually does a decent job of insulating his face. It's just you set your bar low and you're gonna have a good time there. But you know, when it comes to AliExpress, I've never really been let down by AliExpress. Everything is represented really well on there.
I haven't been let down by Ali either. Takes a little while sometimes to get stuff, but they're pretty good.
Yeah, even if it doesn't arrive or it arrives junky, you know, within 2 or 3 days, I've always had either a refund or they've shipped another one. But that's, I guess, how they separate themselves from the other 40 vendors on the same thing.
Yeah, well, what it is AliExpress is actually a derivative of Alibaba, which is an interface for you to, you know, link up with manufacturers. So AliExpress is great for the one-offs. But when you start going larger quantities, you need to move over to Alibaba because that's where all the savings are. But you know, unlike eBay, for instance, these sellers actually carry quite a reputation on AliExpress. So, you know, the only times I've been let down is when there was major shipping delays, which wasn't their fault. And that's why I order everything through ePacket, because it kind of jumps the queue and then gets to Canada in about 2 to 3 weeks, give or take. Also, the AliExpress standard shipping is really good, too, because they use this company, I think it's called UBI, but they actually ship from China through, I guess, I don't know if they do a pallet or whatever, but they get a bunch of stuff over to UBI, who then sends it off through Canada Post up here, but you don't have to pay any custom duties or anything. It's all covered by them. So, but between the two of those, it's like 15 days, which is not bad.
So is anybody printing anything for May the 4th? Any Star Wars fans?
Well, I am.
What are you printing?
Oh, Richard, did you realize that the Cyclops filament guy is now selling it on your website?
Is not what on my website?
No, the Cyclops filament guy.
Yeah.
Because they're finally selling them.
Oh, they're finally selling them.
Yeah, I got mine the other day. I ordered it about 2 weeks ago. I got it now. Yeah, I'm down to about 20% humidity in the box right now.
I love mine. I think that thing is the cat's pajamas when it comes to drying out your filament. This thing, on the other hand,
I was waiting for him to pull it out.
This thing is the biggest piece of horse pucky, because I don't want to say the bad word because then we get demonetized, that I've ever seen. It does absolutely nothing.
Is that the eSun?
No, this is the Sunloo.
Oh.
I like the eSun because I've used the eSun. I did a review on it when it first came out. The eSun actually has a blower in it and will circulate the air. This thing doesn't.
No, so by comparison,
Go ahead, Brian.
here's my modified one. So I actually kickstarted this one, but Richard got his I think about a month afterwards or something. But I went with the original. It's missing the faceplate on the front because why bother reinstalling it right now? If you look at the inside there, the thermistor, which measures the temperature inside, I don't know if it'll come through very clear. It's under this blue tape here. That normally sits down here under this metal plate. So when it says 55 degrees, it means this plate is 55 degrees. It doesn't mean at all the chamber is anything like that. So there's a couple of good videos on YouTube about modifying these. You'll see I also put a 24-volt fan, which sits right in the lid there, a 5015, and that blows direct onto that thermistor so that the chamber temperature is being read. And then because I had a bunch of it, I've talked a few times about this aerogel, this insulation foam. I just kind of put a line over the top there just to give it a little bit of extra insulation around the top there. And with that, this machine actually finally works. But we're talking like maybe $3 in parts if they had bothered to put it in there.
Yeah, I got one of those Sultan dehydrators. Works great.
Yeah, they're great. I had a couple, and then Jess stole it for sculpting clay.
So what's the benefit of having the dryer?
Okay, so filament, sometimes when it comes from the factory, when you have it at home, as soon as you open the bag, basically the plastic inherently absorbs moisture at a microscopic level. And the biggest indication usually that your filament is moisture saturated is that it becomes very brittle. And it's just the nature of the plastic composition. So what you're basically doing with a dryer is not so much just drying it, but you're actually heating it up to help boil off some of that moisture and then remove it from the reel. And, as I said, some of the best manufacturers and some of the worst. Sometimes it'll come in dry, sometimes it'll come in wet. But if you take a roll out of the bag and you leave it in a room for X period, luckily in Alberta here, it's really dry most of the time, so it doesn't impact us as much. But if you're in a humid climate, your reels can go bad sometimes as little as 8 hours. And so these dryers are kind of nice because you can continuously dry while you feed your printer. If you use things like the dehydrators that Peter has there and all that, it works great, but you might have to put some bearings in there to make it freewheel to roll out the filament. But if you dry your filament, if you don't vacuum pack it right afterwards or you don't use it on your machine, you've kind of wasted your time because it's going to start sucking up moisture again right away. And, we did that video on building a dry box probably about, 3-4 months ago there, Richard?
Dry box? No, that was over a year ago.
Oh, my. Okay.
Time flies when you're having fun.
But anyways, we did a video on building one of those. And, yeah, it's designed to keep the filament as dry as possible once you've dried it. And that's kind of the main thing I want to get out here is just throwing your filament in a bin with silica will only maintain it. It won't help remove the extra moisture usually.
So I got a question for you, Richard.
Yes.
Okay, so I have some old computer power supplies. Mm-hmm. I was thinking of hooking those. It's a 12 volt. I was thinking of hooking that to the printer directly, considering I've seen the videos on how the power supplies that they put in the printers go bad. I was thinking that would be a better power supply for my printer.
The one thing that you're going to have to watch on that, Henry, is the amperage, because sometimes those power supplies, depending on who made them, the amperage can be low on certain rails. So if you're on the 12 volt rail and it doesn't have enough amps, your motors aren't going to work worth a darn, and I've seen it happen. So my
so if it's doing.
Go ahead.
If it's doing 600, then I'm good?
That's exactly. 600 watts. That's not amps.
So
okay.
Yeah, so if you take a look at the power supply on the side there, Henry, usually if it doesn't indicate it there, the OEM website will indicate for each of the power rails. So when you say 600 watts, what it means is that every rail combined can deliver a maximum of 600 watts. Now, luckily because of gaming graphics cards and all that, usually 12 volts are an ample portion of that, if you will, but sometimes they can be as low as 250 or 300 watts, so you want to check for that. The other thing, too, is with all ATX power supplies built after about 1998 or so, they have a soft signal to indicate to power on, and I believe on the ATX connector it's the green.
Green and black.
You have to shorten the green one and the black one. And if you short,
Or you got to
once
short it out,
that,
yeah.
yeah, you got to
Or you got to
once
short it out, yeah.
Yeah, you got to short it out to make it run, and then of course you drop it out that way. I did use a couple of ATX, actually mini ATX power supplies back with my monoprice unit, where that was only maybe 150, 200 watts. But just in general, for most printers, assume it wants 350 to 400 watts, and if your rails are only giving 400 watts, it means you're going to be peaking out that thing the whole time. Now, the benefit, of course, is with that big fan in there, it's going to be quiet too. So we have told people to buy PC power supplies before in the past. The fact is, the Meanwells have become incredibly cheap to buy for a good quality power supply now. An LRS 350 12 goes for about 40 to 60 bucks Canadian. You can't even get a used power supply for that. But if you're in a bind, yeah, this is a great use for those old CPU supplies. And then what in the electronics world, what we do is we actually break out all the rails to screw terminals, if you will, and we basically have a benchtop power supply that gives you 5 volt, 3.3 volt, 1.8 volt, 12 volt, minus 12 volt, everything you could ever need to work on a bench. And with 5 volt, you can build a Raspberry Pi. Yeah, there you go, the SparkFun one. Yep, that's the bad boy right there. Now, the only thing I'd be hesitant of is I probably I shouldn't say I wouldn't, but I'd read a bit more into the current limits of that connector, because I can tell you the ATX 24 connector going in there is not rated for 500 watts through those single wires.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's Mr. Me.
So if I hook an amp wire, an amp meter to this and check it out when I do this, it's producing enough amperage. What am I looking for?
Well, okay, first of all, I wouldn't even bother hooking up a multimeter, because most of them have a 10 amp fuse built in, so you're going to actually blow that 10 amp. Because, 12 volts at 360 watts, for instance, is 30 amps. All I would look at is, more so I'd actually monitor the temperatures, if anything. If you're really wanting to just give it a go, after a couple of minutes, and I can attest by undersizing my wires a few times, if your shielding is starting to feel warm, that means you're exceeding the current rating of the wire. But there's a good chance you're going to go and probably pop a fuse on the power supply before you actually melt any wires.
Yeah, you can also measure the resistance on the bed heater and on the extruder heater, and use the Ohm's law to figure out ballpark pretty close on how much current it's going to draw. Those are going to be your two big ones.
Yeah, you're right there, Gary. Fact is, basically, if you're just running the hot end and the motors, you're always going to be fine. Where the big heat source really is the bed, and it varies. Creality beds have, I think, about 8 to 15 ohms. I'd have to check it again, but I've got a few of them for like Mark II ones for Prussias and everything that pretty much have like 1 or half an ohm of resistance, and so if you don't have a limiter in there, that thing's going to rip until you brown out your power supply.
So is 25 amps enough?
Is that what it says on there? 25 amps at 12 volt?
Yes.
Yeah, that should be okay. Yeah, 300 watts. I mean, I'd give it a go. I'd give it a go. Worst case, as I said, you're going to blow up a power supply.
It's 25 amps at 500 watts.
Yeah, so 300 out of the 500 watts on that power supply is just on the 12 volt rail. So what you got to check, again, I'm pretty sure they're all off the same feeder, but sometimes power supplies, certain ones, actually have independent power rails for each of their contact points. I don't think CPU ones have that, but it changes so much these days with all the power devices.
So for the plus 5, I've got 30 amps. For the plus 3.3, I've got 28 amps.
Henry, just so you know, the LRS 350 24 volt power supply from Meanwell off of DigiKey's website, Canada, is only $50.
Okay.
So
save yourself
that's going to be roughly around 35 US.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 25 US.
35 US.
Okay, 35 US.
I thought
okay. Send me the address for that.
Yeah, we'll send over the link and just for you to have a look at, because the Meanwells, they're designed better. They have better brownout protection. There's a lot of features in the CPU realm, like for computers, where the specs vary quite significantly, to be honest. And so that's what you got to watch for. You know, when we talk about meanwhile, these are actual industrial power supplies that, honestly, if they don't outlive 3 or 4 printers, then you've done something wrong or it's defective.
I just installed one for my Ender 3.
Yeah, how you liking it?
It's good. Like the noise being cut down alone was well worth it.
Absolutely, yeah. And you can swap out the fans on there. It does take a little bit of work, but if it really is a noisy fan, that's the big thing with the Meanwells is they use, I think they're using Sunons.
Yep.
And either the Vapo barriers or the ball bearing type fans. But yeah, they're silent. And usually with mine, I actually only hear it kick in when I'm really putting a load on it.
You can swap out.
Okay, so I didn't want to monopolize the time. I didn't want to monopolize the time, but I just wanted to know.
Monopolize the time. This is why we're here.
That's a great question, actually.
I'm sitting here. I've been playing with fan design, and you know, this is uglier than sin right now, just coming off my machine. But it was only 45 minutes on there. Just trying to get an adequate airflow for this fan duct. When it comes to aerodynamics, I am not a good person for designing this. So.
It's just that, you know, I've seen all these videos. I'm seeing all these videos about the power supplies going out on printers. It's like, okay, well, I've got all these power supplies from computers that I've torn down, or you know, just said enough, and I've got the power supply yet. So it was like, okay, can I use this for something else?
Yeah, absolutely, and I do encourage you to reuse it. If you don't want to spend any money, go ahead and reuse it. Just as I said, because I don't know the exact electrical properties of that model, I would advise that you stay around it for the first 8 hours of operation just to make sure it's okay.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a cheapie. It's definitely a cheapie.
Oh, then yeah, I'd be very hesitant on that. You know, I only buy name brand power supplies now, and actually this is, again, one of those things. If you guys have a local electronics recycler that has a sale page up here, it's called the Electronic Recycling Association. Check their sites because there's a lot of like 500, 550 watt brand name power supplies that are maybe about a decade old, but you know, they still have good quality components on them. I think I've seen them as low as $15-20.
Yeah, most of those would be higher quality ones too.
So with a better known power supply, I could get away with it if I had to.
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah, what you got to remember, and this is something I'm going to be covering soon, is about 3D printers and their power draw. What you need to understand is that when a power supply says 350 watts, it doesn't mean it's always pushing out 350 watts. It means it can deliver that much power up to 350 watts before either its protection circuits kick in or it blows a fuse. Now, when it comes to 3D printers, the time that you're actually going to be drawing that maximum power is the time that you are preheating both your nozzle and your bed at the same time. But once you've reached temperature and you're at pulse width modulation, there will be little surges of current, which is referred to as peak current, but the continuous is actually going to average out to be about half of that. So even though you have a 350 watt power supply, you're going to find on average your printer draws about 150 to 175 watts, depending on how hard of a time it's having keeping that bed warm. Even the hot end, you could leave it smoking all day and night, and the maximum cartridges I've seen are about 50 watts on the market.
And at the same time, it's the amps that he uses, right?
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's the amps, right? So the amps, when I say wattage, it's just because we're dealing with fixed DC current here. But if we can talk about amps, 12 volts, 30 amps would be about 360 watts. And if you average it out, it's going to be pulses of 30, 0, 30, 0. And in an ideal circumstance, it's going to be about a 50% duty cycle once it reaches temperature. That is, 50% off to let it cool down to your set point, and then 50% on to bring it back up to the set point. So again, you're not going to be using that full capacity all the time. If you are worried about it, just preheat your nozzle before you heat the bed, or preheat the bed separately, and that'll knock off like 50, 60 watts.
I'm glad that I asked, so I know.
Yeah, it's not that bad, really. I mean, if you've got a good quality power supply, I've seen it done. There's plenty of tutorials. There's plenty of instructables online to show you how to set it up so that you can use it with your 3D printer. So, yeah, if you figure you got a decent one, give it a try. What's the worst that can happen?
I'll let you guys know how it goes.
You might straighten your hair, but
I've got 4 printers. I can put it on on the smallest, or just choose one printer that I don't use normally.
there you go. Hey, Peter, I wanted to ask you, how are your printers running now?
Good, except for that one problem I was telling you about
The
as far
little
as,
blobbing problem.
yeah. That one really got me confused, but I recently changed the nozzle on it, so maybe I didn't get it snugged down.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
But other than that, I'm not having any failures at all, which is great.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you torque that nozzle right there, Peter, you shouldn't have to touch it really again for a long time. I laughed. If you guys saw my post on Facebook, I guess I didn't torque my CR10 here tight enough because the nozzle just fell out mid-print.
Oh my God. No, nothing fell out.
Let me see if I can bring the puck over to you guys. I'm sure it's. I think I did pull.
Is that what that glob was?
Yeah, look at all these beautiful little black blobs there.
Yeah.
It was looking nice, and then
yeah, no, all I had was that it was really funny. It was just encased on the nozzle itself, so I'll have to check it out and see what's going on.
Yeah, you might have a little leak.
Yeah, I haven't used it for the last day or so, so I'll check it out tomorrow.
So Morgan Pierce in the chat is saying that he used an ATX power supply once as a temporary workaround while waiting for a replacement. So that might be something to do. If you've got a power supply that's gone, you can hook it up to your ATX power supply and use it as a temporary to keep you up and running.
Absolutely. In general, as I said, the name brand stuff, even something that's 10 years old, probably has better components than most power supplies on the market, with Meanwell being the exception. So if you got it lying around, I'm all in favor of the 3 R's. So I would say reuse that power supply.
And there's a great many other things you can do with a power supply as well.
Oh, hey, I found the nozzle. Let's see if this will focus nicely. There we go.
This is what we're going to be building this weekend on the show. And this is the basic frame. We're going to start with doing the frame. I had to drill and tap everything.
So it looks like an
Ender
Ender 5
option of
Plus.
having it drilled and tapped for me.
Oh, it's nothing like an Ender 5 Plus, I'll tell you.
So,
holy smokes.
We're going to show you all this, how we go ahead and put this all together. The only thing I'm missing is these blocks right here. These little corner blocks. I'm waiting for them to come in. I hope to Christ they come in tomorrow. If not, we'll come back to the bed at a later time. And we've got all of our linear rails. I don't know if you guys saw the picture that I put up.
Oh, lights went out.
Let me see here. All of that good stuff on.
Oh, I think he wandered off into the abyss.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I'm still here. Here we go. So these are my linear rails. I love the black look on these. And this is how they came packaged.
Nice.
Wow.
And these rails, $14 a piece with the block.
So,
Jesse,
so just out of curiosity, how much is this going to set you back by the time you finish it?
For Richard, maybe $20. For me, a couple thousand. No.
I put dual rails on all my Enders. I put dual rails on all my Enders.
Nice.
What do you say, Richard? It's probably $700, $800 Canadian build, like around $500-600 US.
Yeah, they're roughly. Without the printed parts, you can buy everything retail at about $1,000, all the parts.
Oh, okay.
I had some parts. A company out of the U.S. sent me all my bolts. No questions asked. They just sent me the bolts that I needed. So I didn't have to pay for them. So I saved myself about $150 in bolts. The filament, of course, all the filament I'm using on this build came from Matter 3D, so that didn't cost me. But all the rest of it has cost me. So I bought all the aluminum extrusion pre-cut to the sizes that I needed. And the funny thing about that was the shipping was almost as expensive as the actual rail. Because it comes out of the U.S. It comes from Misumi. I bought the actual Misumi rail.
I just sent my grandkids a couple of little items. They were the size of Oreo cookies. 2 of them.
Nice.
For one for each grandkid. And the box was maybe the size of a cigarette package. $19.85 to mail it to Ontario.
Hey, that's where I'm from.
I told them from now on they aren't getting anything else.
Well,
You got your cookies.
This is only going to
Happy.
cost me a stamp.
Yeah. Oh, it cost you $20 to mail it to me, Richard.
I'll just drive it over to your place, Peter.
Okay.
Same to you, Gary. I'll just drive it to your place.
No, I'd like to see you come and visit me.
Well, Gary and I have a long-standing relationship, so.
I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh man, I miss being there. I used to do some.
Like I said, I'm less than 15 miles away from the Micro Swiss, so I can order the part and go directly pick it up.
So not only are you close to Micro Swiss,
Minneapolis one time.
I was gonna say, like, not only are you close to Micro Swiss, you're close to Micro Center. I hate you.
Yes, I could go there by bike within a half an hour.
All right, well, looks like we have our new U.S. distribution center.
Andrew has it right. He says, I get hosed in Canada for shipping. Yes, we do.
You know, we can. I think we can safely talk about this. So when we were working with Matter 3D, we were trying to, early on, we were trying to get some filament samples out to people, and a 100-gram packet to mail in Canada was $15.
Yeah.
We said, you know what, just send the whole reel at that point. Oh, did we lose Richard? Oh. Yeah, it was $15. We found a way to get it down to like $4 for packets, but it's really a mess for shipping here. In fact, I can't really bring up the quote, but I can tell you guys, when I was ordering screws, I actually, originally I went through Alibaba and I got a few quotes, and it came in at about, I think it was 170 US for all the bolts I needed. Well, I should say, when I say needed, I mean like 3 sets worth. But it was $112 shipping. And then I was also working with another insulation company out of Korea, and I wanted to order something like, well, I tried ordering a bucket of this stuff, like a 4-gallon bucket of the stuff, and the stuff cost maybe $30, but the shipping was 100 US. So they said, oh, here, how about these sheets? These are much more lightweight. I'm like, okay, sure. So I started going, got a quote for about 10 or 20 of those, which it was, 1/8 of the weight. Guess what? It was still $100 shipping. So at the end of the day, I went to some local suppliers here in Calgary. I will fully give a shout out to them, Quest Industrial Supplies. And I said to them, hey, I'm looking for this. And I gave them a whole list of all the BOMs and everything. And they came back to me. I'm like, you're kidding, right? And they're like, no, this is out of Toronto. We'll have it for you in a week and a bit. I'm like, really? So, yeah, I'm buying all my bolts through them from now on. It was actually cheaper to source domestically than internationally for once.
Yeah, it can be a pain in the...
I can go to Granger as well.
Oh, we don't talk about Granger up here. Yeah.
No, not at all.
I can't afford Granger. Granger up here is disgustingly priced.
Yes.
Same down here.
I think they wanted some like $120 for a hard hat last time I looked through the catalogs.
Yeah, I've ordered a couple of things from Granger recently. I wasn't very happy with their
That's why I don't.
ETAs. They kind of give the illusion that it's available in store, and then a week later it still hasn't arrived. So you get kind of spoiled even with AliExpress, shipping, where they'll at least give you an idea where it is, whether you're ordering from a Calgary location or I think last time something had to come up from Houston. It was right during the big storm, so it was delayed, 2 weeks before it even shipped.
Wow.
Yeah, we don't try to do too much orders, through various vendors, just because they are all over the map right now. I can go and give out the names. We definitely buy a lot from DigiKey. McMaster Car, although expensive, is very reliable.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what? If you ever go through their catalog, that's probably one of the best built catalogs I've ever dealt with in my life. You go there and you say, I want screws, and then I want hex socket screws. And then at that point on, you have the ability to filter down and say, what sizes you want, what base materials you want. It's all laid out black and white, and you can actually just compare the prices right on that page. And they've got some weird things like blue dyed bolts and all that stuff. So,
yeah, I'll second and triple McMaster Car. That's where I got the rods for the AidBot. Well, the rods that hold the AidBot together. These are kind of one of the only places I could find in that size. And they had multiple options in stainless and brass, and you could see it right away. You can get, it's a fast website, so you can check different options, really quickly. You're not frustrated, and if you're including it in a design, you can just download the step file in a lot of cases, or the 3D file, and drop it into your design. And if it works, you got a part number and a reliable place to get it. And like 3-day shipping or something, or 4-day shipping to Calgary a lot of times.
Yeah, they're good. You just have to make sure you register as a business. They get a little weird when dealing with consumers, but
a little.
I'll see if I can bring it up for example here. Where is?
And they sell pretty much like everything from nuts and bolts and screws to hard hats to toilet paper to high tech bearings.
Yeah, they're a random one. Richard, I'm not sure if you can bring me into focus here or not. But this is like McMaster's website.
I don't know how to do this. I told you this is why you need to do this.
Well, yes. So, anyways, eventually, once Richard figures out how to bring it, actually, wait, hang on, I can share a screen. Look at that. Let's see what this does. There we go. And that'll maybe highlight me instead of doing a. All right, can everyone see that?
Not yet.
No. What is? Oh, maybe you need to. I don't know. Remove from stream. I don't know this platform. Anyways, yeah. So we got if you click on socket head screws, you can kind of see a tiny little thing here with thumbnails and everything. But when you select anything, if we go like alloyed, and you can see the site is pretty fast. It's got your thread sizes on your left, and it gives you a list of every bolt size, the package pricing, the package quantities, and then when you click on one of these, it actually has a drop down here, a very tiny one on your screen, obviously, but it has 3D models for every part there in SolidWorks, STEP, SAT, PDF, IGUS, DWG, DXFs. So you get all, even if you're not buying from them, I would go here for references of everything because they've really detailed their catalog. And yes, they do ship to Canada.
So here's something that you guys are going to find funny. Let me go with no PEI. Okay. So I can order a full plate from DigMac, or Digital Machinery Incorporated, in the U.S. With the Canovo heater and everything that it needs to be for $135.
Jeez, that's cheap.
Here's the problem. They don't ship to Canada. I got all the way to the checkout. Don't ship to Canada.
Yeah, you want to hear about the headaches we have to deal with. Richard and I have been leveraging a company out of Montana called Montana Mailbox. They're located just in Sweetgrass, which is literally the first right after crossing the border there. And the nice thing is they partner with a company called DUIK Post. So especially if you're in the Calgary or Edmonton area, you can get a mailing address here. They charge between $2 to $6 American dollars just to receive the package, and then based off sometimes weight or dimensions, it might go up a little bit. But you can release it then to DYK to have it cleared across the border, and then it gets driven up to Calgary or to Edmonton depots, and they do that drive twice a week. So they're readily crossing the border, and especially if you self-clear your own packages, then you're good. If you want them to do it, there is a slight cost, but things like ordering from Rock Auto, for instance, it's actually way cheaper to bring it in through these guys than ship it directly to you. I think we saved on like car carpeting, we saved $200 to $300 Canadian on a $700 order. So, it can be significant.
For the plate, the cast aluminum plate is $37.95 in the U.S.
Yeah, and do you know how much it is here?
It's $140 for just the plate in Canada.
Yeah. Ethan's dad saying, if you're close to the border, get a USPO box. That's basically what Montana mailbox is. So when the border eventually reopens, what I used to do, when I was buying some Amazon return printers from the US, I would have them ship it to Montana. And the border is about 3.5 hours south of here, so you got to factor in gas and your time. I think we ended up driving next down to whatever the next town is, I can't remember, and we just stocked up at Walmart, right, with neat things. But, we just drive across, pick it up, cross the border, pay our taxes, our GST, it's like 5%, and on our merry way.
Rex, you're only in Medicine Hat.
Yeah, he's our middleman. We'll just send him. Actually, no. The drive
I got
from
your email.
The drive from the Hat to Sweetgrass is a heck of a drive. He's closer to Coots, I think.
Yeah, if I can find somebody to pick up this plate, I will ship it to them, and then they can ship it to me.
Well, as I said, we can probably ship through Montana again. We can look at that too, just see what the damage is.
Yeah, that's true.
It's still going to be cheaper.
So Richard, I just sent you my address.
Yes, I got it.
Okay.
I got it in the chat.
Was that the plate for the Voron build?
Yes.
Yeah, so what we've been talking about, the reason we're ordering these special cast aluminum beds is because most aluminum comes in steel, or it comes in rolls, and even with it being cold pressed or hot pressed, it's still going to have deformations in it, whereas a cast bed is truly going to be flat. It's going to be cast in the right dimensions, and it's going to cool to the right dimensions. So you do have to pay a premium for it, and truth be told, we don't really even know anybody experienced enough to do our own casting up here, let alone even making the mold for that. So we might as well just go through the proper channels and have someone who knows how to do it correctly the first time. That's the key with the Voron build. If you cheap out on any part, it's going to start to show.
Yep. That's the problem with the Voron, is when you build it, you're building $1,000 machine that's going to perform better than the $1,000 machines out of the Czech Republic. Not saying who they are.
And because you built it, you know how to fix it.
Exactly.
Well, that, and from my experience looking at, number one, the engineering of this, but number two, these things in operation, this $1,000 printer, if you will, is going to operate like a $2,500 printer. It's just the reality of it. Most of us don't really look into the high-end printers usually. I think that certain one company is about the highest end I see consumers going at, and then after that point, it's just into commercial realm to most people. But for $1,000 to build a machine that's going to be rigid and basically kind of almost a set it and forget it, because it's going to be so perfectly square, it's not that bad of an investment. You tend to forget what you can get for $1,000 with a regular, like a bed slinger these days.
You get a pretty big bed slinger for $1,000.
Yeah, and I'm sure you guys have all seen this right now too, with all the ads popping up that every company in their right mind now is starting to come out of the brinks with their new 3D printers again, and they're all Ender 3 sized.
Yeah. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't come out with bigger ones.
Well, there is a reason. I'll be honest with you guys. There is a reason, and this is based off my own engineering experience. The Ender 3 at like 235 by 235 is perfectly robust for the hardware, but when you start scaling up past that, the design doesn't work very well anymore. Like the CR10 is right on the fringes of practicality. When you get into the CR10S4 and 10S5, everyone says they're great printers, but you look at the acceleration rates, how slow they are. You're getting build volume, but you're wasting a lot of space, and it takes forever to print things. Even you can go with bigger nozzles, but you have to keep that speed slow. Simply put, the bed slinger design, it's just too much weight thrown back and forth. And that's where we looked, Richard and I looked into like the Hypercube Evolution and all other Core XY and you know, other Cartesian printers like the Ender 5. And at the end of the day, we were going to build the Hypercube probably about a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
and then when I started babbling on about my big printer and the issues and how I was designing it, somebody in the chat said, "What, like a Voron?" I said, "Like a what?" So I was trying to reinvent the wheel, but looking at everything in this design, it's so well thought out. I mean, Richard kind of showed the photo there earlier of the instructions. It's almost like IKEA grade in how clear. It's just, there's no words. It's just like these 4 pieces. You lay it on the floor in this order. Then you select these 2 and plop it here. And it's really good. It's just, it is a little bit of a jump in the expertise level. You do have to have at least a functional printer or someone that can print all the ABS parts. There's a lot of acrylic to it and all that, but it really is worth it.
And the nice thing is that you can buy all the parts to build this thing online. Literally.
Yeah.
It is the best printer that you cannot buy. To be perfectly honest, it's the best printer that you can't buy retail. You have to build it, you know. It's like getting that special car that you always wanted that no longer exists. So you go through year 1 and you go through all the parts catalogs and you finally put together your dream car. Kind of the same thing. Pierre in the chat's asking, Voron 1 or 2. I'm building the 2.4, which is the latest edition of the Voron. I've joined their Discord, and let me tell you, there is a lot of information in that Discord that doesn't come on the GitHub and doesn't come on any of the other documentation that's out there. That Discord, I got to tell you, is probably the best resource for any parts that you're going to need.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and eventually, go ahead.
I was going to say, they got a huge community right now. I think they've doubled almost in serial numbers that they've given out over the last year and a bit. And, you know, any part you might have problems with, someone's already found a solution. And, price is good. You get parts online, good service, it's fast, it's multi-material, it's got fancy acceleration curves automatically that it can pick up, and it's I can't wait for my parts to come in.
Yeah, and for those of you in YouTube there, you know, keep an eye open because Richard and I are working on some retail opportunities here, and part of the reason I'm ordering a lot of screws is because quite frankly, the price of screws right now is disgusting at retail, and so I'm basically jumping out and ordering immense quantities to try and bring the cheaper price to consumers. So the build that I want to do required 300 M3x8s. That's why I ordered 1,000. So, you know, we're gonna try and make it a little
when
bit
you're
more
boarding
available.
up all the windows, that's.
You got to out here, man.
See, he went and got all the silver ones. I got the sexy black ones.
No, I got the black ones coming too. I didn't realize that I placed 2 orders, so I got a bunch of silvers and I got 1,000 blacks coming in tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That almost came out wrong.
Are you guys keeping track of all your sources, and will you like provide a part or a source list at the end of the build?
Absolutely, yeah. Richard.
One of the things that I've been doing is going off of the recommended sources. There's when you download the information from the website, you can get a sourcing guide, and it'll tell you exactly where to go to get exactly what you need. Brian's got it up there now.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to come by as a full screen thing. I think, Richard, you have to click on the triple dots to focus it, but I could be wrong.
I have no idea.
So whenever you, if you have never seen Voron's website, they give you the ability to actually custom build your printer here. So actually, if I jump back to the main page here, vorondesign.com, what you do is you go into your printers. They give you a couple different models, and we, for instance, select the Voron 2. You follow through the configurator. So all it is a little guide, and you go and say, okay, we want to do a direct feed. We're going to build a new printer. You can choose blind joints, Misumis, or open builds, corner cubes. Let's just select Misumi for the fun. And then for cable management, you can go anywhere from 3D printed cable management chains to IGUS cable chains. So let's just go with generic for now. Printer size, let's just select 350 mil by default, and it'll give us a 350 by 350 by 330 frame dimensions. And then when you hit this blue show button, it gives you your BOM of all the items to order. Now, it's great for things like Mitsumi where you have the actual Mitsumi numbers and all that. But what I really like is if we click away from that and go back into it. Oh, sorry, it's down at the bottom here, and go onto the sourcing guide. This is a giant document they have, and they will give you links to each one of the parts you need for your build, where you can buy them from, and they even indicate if it's going to be an affiliate link or not. So things like AliExpress, they've got a regular link, and then they got an affiliate link if you want to kick a few bucks back to them. Obviously, it's not going to change the price for you. But this is a great thing just to browse through, even if you're not planning on building one, just to see what kind of parts people are speccing for similar printers. And this covers every single part in this build too. So that actually at the bottom they've got a Voron 0.1, a 2.4, switch wire, afterburner. They've got so many different printers in here for configurations, but every spec is in here. So if you're concerned that you're not getting the right part from your local retailer, you have a go-buy, and that's the biggest thing.
Cool.
We'll be covering kind of all this as we do the build, but
myself.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Now,
So
what
Richard,
I
go ahead.
learned the hard way about this is that the machine uses two SKR boards and one Raspberry Pi.
Ooh.
The SKR boards receive the firmware through the Raspberry Pi and then flashes firmware to your two boards. You don't do it manually like you would normally do it. You're using Clipper to control everything, or Clipper's doing all the hard work, and then Octoprint is controlling the printer.
Okay.
So you can literally watch
sounds
this thing
logical.
print from around the world if you put a camera in it.
Yeah, the main
So
thing,
you'll let us watch. So you'll let us watch it go through the printing process, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing a 24-hour live stream.
That'd be
Yeah, we'll
cool.
definitely give
Nothing.
something.
Yeah,
but
that would be
print.
cool.
Just tune in
That'd
and
be
watch
cool.
it print.
If I've got if I got not,
I'd do that, but I'd be demonetized within 5 minutes because I'm usually cursing at the damn thing.
You guys should spend a day in our studio.
I'm generally just watching trains on the virtualrailfan.com. So.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Now,
Yeah.
Gary has heard my cursing. Peter has heard my cursing. Brian definitely has heard my cursing.
Yeah, I'm an oil and gasser, man. Of course I curse the whole frickin' way.
So I found something on Thingiverse that's kind of cool. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but you know how on these clippers that you say got from Creality or anybody like that, that eventually the plastic at the bottom gets a hole in it, and you end up, it hurts your hand like whenever you're clipping because you've got the metal in there. Well, Thingiverse, I found these on Thingiverse and printed out a TPU. They're just they replace those plastic
Oh, nice.
shields. Takes about 50 minutes to print,
Nice.
and they just slip in, and they'll replace those little covers on the other ones.
Keeps it.
Yeah.
That'll also feel better on the hands than Plasti Dip. If you ever
Yeah.
dipped a Chewels, it is not
Yeah.
a comfortable feeling.
Yeah, anyway, I just thought I'd mention it.
That's
That's
brilliant.
actually really cool.
Thanks. I'll look for that.
Yeah, I've
That
been
was
bad
on
printing
Thingiverse?
new things.
Yeah, it was on Thingiverse, yeah. Just go in and look for, handles. Put in handles or something like that, and you'll see them.
Side cutter
Come up.
handles or something there, Pete?
Side cutter handles, yeah.
Actually, you know what? And before you go to Thingiverse, I want you guys to try a different site. I don't know if you've heard about this one lately, but have you heard of Thangs?
Yeah, I've heard of Thangs, yeah.
I started using it today just for fun, and I didn't realize it's also doing kind of the function of Yegi, so it's giving links out to Thingiverse as well, and their search works!
Yeah, I know.
Like, I love you, Ultimaker, but man, you dropped the ball on this latest upgrade for Thingiverse. Like, it's almost unusable for me now, to be honest. I can't even search up stuff without magical wildcards now.
Yeah, I'm finding that on Thingiverse too.
So that's F-A-N-G-S? Thangs?
Yeah,
Thangs,
oh, sorry,
yeah.
sorry. It's
T-H-A-N-G-S.
like Things, but with an A. So Thangs.
Thangs.
Don't go to thongs.com or you might get in trouble.
Don't go to thongs.
It's like the cool kids say, "Thang."
Thang. Come print that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this website, this is how Thingiverse should have been laid out. And I don't know who's behind it, but, it seems to be gaining popularity. There's good trending. Use your model to find geometrically related items. That's cool. I haven't tried that one yet.
I have.
Yeah.
It works
Does it work?
really good.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
But, it's got all sorts of models in here. And, everything seems to be free of charge. Just the way it displays models, I like it. It's nice and clean. It's always on like a 3/4 view of the STL file. The comment system, you don't actually have to click to see sub-comments. Download augmented reality. Oh, man, they got augmented reality. Okay, so if you have an Android or iOS device, you can load up these models on your phone and place it on your desk and see what it looks like. That is awesome. I'm going to be checking that out later. Oh, and actually, you know what? The view
3D is up in the Discord right now.
Yeah. Hey, Richard, can you actually bring this into focus, this screen share there? I want to show them this. This is kind of cool.
Oh, don't remove from stream. Hip solo layout. There
Oh,
we go.
okay. Okay, is it focusing on this one? It doesn't let me switch. Okay, you know what? Screw it. We're going to the webcam version. Hang on here. Hang on. Where is it here? Okay, now we're going to get ultra... Woo! All right, so here is, for instance, the desktop organizer that was on the homepage. Now, on the homepage itself, everything's at a nice angle, so you always see everything at the same angle, which is really nice. But when you click on these, it's all in 3D here, so now you can actually view it in 3D by default. It's not making you look through static images first. You can change the rendering option to like an X-ray if you want to see through it, which is nice. You can do it shaded if you just want to see a basic shade. Wireframe, which clearly is working right. But, orientation, even then you can rotate through your angles and take a look over it. And even, just throw in a color code. Let's say you like, you got red PLA, you want to see what it looks like in red? Let's see. Let's see if this works here. Nope. It's a work in progress, clearly. But even the ability just to go through and click on a model, get your live preview, and to be able to rotate and look around it. This is how Thingiverse should be.
Mm-hmm.
You still, again, geometrically related to, so it's clearly doing polygon searches for that. Community uploads for photos
So
of
you're
it.
gonna leave
likes,
the link you can leave the link in chat, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to post the... Oh, yeah, Robert954, you got it for me already. I'm going to post it to the actual YouTube chat here.
Just alone for the speed of the website's faster than Thingiverse.
Oh,
yeah, no kidding. Ethan's dad in the chat was saying he uses Thingiverse with Yegi. I've been using Yegi for a long time too, but this is the first website I've seen that actually might knock them out for the time being. And again, it's growing, right? There's not everything in here, but if we search up something like Ender 3, which would be a common term, you see, I don't know if you saw it there, but it found 1.3 million results, and you can go best match internal models on Thangs or external. And this already, My Mini Factory. There's a bunch of ones in here. PrussiaPrinters.org. All these different websites. It kind of encompasses the search function of Yegi, but in a more adaptable one. Even Thingiverse here, and it looks like, I don't know if they download the models, because like this photo, for instance, looks like they pulled the file itself.
Brian, you're on your own for a minute.
Oh, okay. Well, that's no news to me here. And the worst thing is he's going to leave me with no ability.
Anything.
Yeah, well, the worst thing is he's not going to leave me any ability to switch back to all of us. So now I got to show you guys something cool on my computer or something, which is not really much right now. I mean, Prusa Slicer.
That works.
I've been playing around a bit with Prusa Slicer with my ugly fan duct here. It works. Let's put it that way. It works. Yeah, but I won't lie to you guys. I've had a lot of 3D printer troubles, and I think it's mostly just because of bad mechanical design on my part. So that's why haven't been showing off much models lately. Just been doing a couple of commissions here and there. But yeah, I'm gonna really like this site. Like, I did sign up for it the other day. You don't need an account to download. Just go and check it out, because I think you're gonna find some cool stuff in here. There's this Robo Ninja here. Is making all these different models of lathes and things by the looks of it. Just Mandalorian keychains, and again, the detail is pretty darn good for a view, just a viewport. And it looks like, okay, so that you can actually view SLD parts or STLs, which that looks like a clear non-manifold issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I posted something up on there, and it's already got 20 downloads, and it's only been posted maybe about 2 months now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's just a better website. Hey, welcome back, Richard. Okay, now I can put my ugly mug back on. There we go.
I just want to quickly show this. You were showing that organizer earlier, Brian.
You mean?
I need another one.
Nice, I like that one.
This is the one that I downloaded when my brother was here, and he ended up taking home a couple of printers. But I printed one of these for him, and I printed one for me, and now I need another one because this one's full.
I don't know about you guys, but I got about 30 or 40 SD cards now, so I really need something that's just ridiculous.
First world problems.
I know, right? Darn you, Costco, with bringing out like progressively cheaper SD cards.
Yeah.
Here's my SD card holder.
Oh, nice.
Or Micro Center.
Oh yeah, Micro Center. They keep sending me my coupons for my free 32 gig card, but I'm not within 1,200 miles of one. Yeah. See, there's a couple I got right now, but I keep knocking them off my desk, and so half of them are on the floor.
I had to burn that one in there.
Ugh, my heart.
I know nothing.
Yeah, we're so close with Memory Express, but it's not quite a Micro
2 buses
Center.
on there.
Ah, there's Peter with his short one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one you got there, Peter.
I had one of those too, and I ran out of space.
Yeah, I printed 3 of them.
I have too much crap. That's my problem.
I just started magnetically mounting everything to the wall. I've got like 4 sets of headphones up there, and
oh wow.
Actually, maybe I can get a little filler light in there. Come on. Nope, that's unplugged. Welcome to high-tech shows here.
So this, guys, is all that the printer runs up on. That's it. Runs through there and up and down.
Wow.
And I do like the fact that they put in a lot of points of contact that you can adjust.
Mm-hmm.
So you can really dial in the tightness on your belts. You can really dial in the way that this printer prints. So I'm really looking forward to that.
So I haven't printed anything with my CR5 Pro or Plus yet, but I was wondering what would be a good starting project for that, because I haven't printed anything on that one yet. The Ender 5 Plus.
Oh, the Ender 5 Plus.
The 300 by 300 one, eh?
Yeah.
That's a darn good machine, actually.
I'm just picturing that little cube on that big old board on that build plate, and it's like, oh my god.
You mean something that big?
Well, what we've been telling people to do is, regardless, you should download that Voron STL package from their website, and in there they've got this cube that Richard's holding there. That's their calibration cube, and it's got so many more points of articulation versus your standard XYZ calibration cube, just to make sure the printer's dialed in, because you don't want to be in a position where you do decide to start off with that big print, and then at 98%, it just craps out. Right?
Flops
it happens
out,
to all of
yeah.
us. And filament ain't cheap. I'm sorry. You know, it's.
Well,
Not
that's
these
why
days,
I'm
it ain't.
asking. That's why I'm asking.
You know, I mean, you can always print off these little guys, but I prefer the one that is in the Voron STLs. It's much nicer and it's a lot cleaner too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so send me the link for that if you would, Richard.
Yeah, it's just we can put it in the chat.
Yeah, let me go to Voron's website there. It's just a direct download, but it's off their GitHub there. But,
I'm gonna have to go soon. So
yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here right away. We've been at this for an hour and 40 minutes. Not counting the pre-show.
It's
yeah, I didn't realize that Richard was inviting you guys all in half an hour beforehand, so I log in. I'm like, oh, oops.
I just had it up and running because
it's so great to be able to be seen. You know, it's so great to be seen instead of just typing things in. It's like, oh, I didn't spell that right.
I don't care about my spelling anymore.
Yeah, this was a great deal of fun, and I appreciate being invited in.
Well, we like having all you guys with us each and every month. We're going to try to keep this up as a monthly thing so we can all get together, and StreamYard only allows me to have 10 people on screen at a time because I'm not paying the $50 US to just get 2 more. So that being said, for what I pay for this, I'm happy.
Okay, so let me say this. I would be interested in donating the $50. I could do that on the 3rd. Who would I pay it to? I mean, the more people we've got, the better.
You
right?
pay it to Brian Baker, care of the First Layer.
You can pay a Micro Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
that's so you can just buy from Micro Center. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look into it. We just, StreamYard, they have pretty good pricing. It's just a matter that if we were doing this weekly, it would make more sense. But we might even go back to like Google Hangouts or something.
Google Hangouts doesn't exist anymore.
Well, actually, it does. Actually, like really? Hangouts Meet does exist. It's just really confusing. It's just, StreamYard is a great. Don't get me wrong, it's a great platform, but they should have opened up like 1080p for a discounted price or something. Having it start at $20 a month is quite lucrative if you're only doing 1 or 2 streams a month, to be honest.
So what about Zoom?
No. No, I'm not. I would rather do a Microsoft Teams meeting.
Yeah, Microsoft Teams meeting you get 1080 out of.
Yeah, we do actually. I think we have full licensing for it now.
What about Zoom?
Well,
Zoom doesn't allow us to get good quality.
Like, it works okay, I found, but it's not, I don't know, it's not as versatile as we'd like it. And, like, to give you guys an idea, Richard, when we do the regular live stream, Richard uses vMix, which he had purchased for, I think it was like $300 US back in the day or something, for the package that he has. And he's allowed 1 caller. If we want to have 2 callers, they want an additional $400 US.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, and guess what? They don't even host any of the video stuff. That's just being streamed over the internet to Richard.
Now, hang on. To be fair, when you move up to that package, I'm just going to go to vMix right now.
Yeah, it's not you're not just getting that for $400, but it's still a giant leap. They don't offer any kind of a la carte pricing, if you will.
No, they don't.
Which is, it's painful in this day and age because, Richard and I are using a Microsoft deal. There's a family package you can buy for Office 365, which is either 109 Canadian a year or $11 Canadian a month, depending on your preference. But that gives you 6 accounts that you can upgrade to get full Microsoft Office, plus 1 terabyte, so 1,000 gigs of storage on the cloud per user. So we're paying like $11 a month and getting effectively 6 terabytes of cloud storage, plus 6 concurrent sessions of all the Microsoft Office programs. It's kind of a no-brainer.
So by moving up to the next tier in vMix, it allows us to do 4K resolution, which we don't do. It gives me 2 recorders as opposed to 1. It still allows me to do 1,000 inputs, which is fine. It gives me an advanced designer templates. It allows me to have up to 4 callers as opposed
Sorry,
to
4
one.
callers, yeah.
It also gives me now the option to record not only here internally, but I can record outside, or I can record a separate camera if I want. It also gives me instant replay. Not that we're doing sports. Unless we start
it's a very
the
traditional
wild world
workflow,
of
to be
3D
honest.
printing sports.
Yeah, no, it's, before OBS was on the market and stuff like that, I mean, vMix is kind of the de facto go-to for small to intermediary broadcasters.
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing interviews around the world and stuff, because it just kind of works for a lot of people. But just like Simplify 3D, the free options are quickly superseding it, and the company's not doing much to keep up, in my opinion.
So for me to move up
I was wondering what
one
happened with
tier, it's going to cost me $350.
Well,
But yeah,
So-
if we have more members that have been trying to get in or whatever, let us know, because we can find a way to make it work for StreamYard, and maybe we'll just do use it a bit more often, if you will.
Hey, there's
I'd like
there's
that.
our good friend Jerry Knapp. We were just talking about him not too long ago.
Yeah, everyone's creeping at the last minute. Yeah, just about that time, I think, for me to wrap it up myself too.
Yeah, me too. I've got to head upstairs and get my nightly meds.
Hey, Richard and Brian, I've got something I have to show you before we
Sure.
go.
Absolutely.
I showed this to my son, who's a big Star Wars fan, and he got very disgusted with me. I hope it makes you laugh. Hang on.
Oh, I love that
That's the way it
shuttlecraft.
should be.
Now I've got Baby Yoda on my 3D, on my 3-wheel trike. So I got electric trike. I've got Baby Yoda sitting up front.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I have to get to finishing some of those things on the back shelf there. You can see there are some Star Wars busts back there that I have to get finished.
Yeah, we are very behind. We're down to the crunch for May the 4th is 6 days away.
Yeah.
Woo.
My X-Wing is almost put together.
Nice.
I'm going to do a quick and dirty paint job on it, though.
I feel like my scene's just gonna be a cut to me crying a corner with like a spaghetti roll.
That could be.
It's been a hectic month
Well,
with the
it's
printers.
it's med time. I'll go let you guys go.
Well, we are going to be doing a special episode for May the 4th, so you guys can watch out for that. And then, of course, we're going to be back with our first of the Voron build this Friday for our members. And then it'll be available Saturday for all of our regular viewers and subscribers. And then Sunday we're back to do another Ask for Help. So I've got
See
some
y'all on
addresses
Sunday.
here that came in. So we got 5 addresses.
okay, guys, it's been grand.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
We
Thanks
are
for joining
going
us
to
tonight.
get you guys some stickers.
Thank you as well for that.
And, maybe we'll put some other stuff in there too. Who knows?
Yeah,
We'll
it's
throw
been a
some
lot of fun, guys.
sandwiches.
Yeah.
Keep
Thanks,
printing.
guys. Have a good
Keep
night.
printing.
Take care, everybody.
Remember, like we say here, guys, the first layer is always
Your.
The best layer.
Right.
I thought we were gonna do one. Where did it go?
Your foundation to a great print.
There you go. Sexy Brian to the rescue.
Brian.
Take care,
Good
guys.
night.
Stay safe.
Good night and
You
a
too. Good
pleasant
night,
tomorrow.
everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Good night.